You are watching The Convo with Dr. Frida and James Wetu. Convo, encouraging conversation that matter.
This is James Wetu. This is Convo, encouraging conversations that matter. Exciting. I'm so happy because I have two gentlemen with me and I'll be introducing them shortly. So we are learning a series we are calling He Matters, and it's a place where we are exploring men's wellness, things to do with, we've shared so much on depression, we've shared so much on suicide cases among young men, we've shared even issues to do with health, men's health, and we thought that it's important that we pursue this conversation that is revolving around men. And this is not to mean that we won't have ladies on the show and we won't have, it's basically an interest to understand, because basically the statistics are worrying. We said in every 5 cases of suicide, 4 are men. That is huge. That is huge. When it comes to issues to do with the cancer deaths, men tops there. And it means there's something about maybe our society or how we look at men, or how men, the way we say that men don't really talk about themselves, so become a huge issue. So we thought that we need to have a conversation. We want to encourage some sort of conversation. To introduce my guest, I will start with my light, as a gentleman I have known for some time. Felix.
Yes.
Karibu sana Felix.
Asante.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, maybe you might want to say hi to the viewer and tell them more about you and what you do.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
So, hello people. So, my name is Felix Moraga. I'm born again, and I'm very glad to be here today. I do a lot of things in my day-to-day life.
Okay.
I'm a banker.
Okay.
I'm also a musician.
You do music?
Yes, I do music. I play the keyboard and the bass guitar. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm also a technology person. Yes. Basically, that's me. And when I'm up country, I'm a farmer.
You are a farmer?
Yes, sir.
So you are so many things in
Sure.
one.
So many things in one.
Okay. I'm really excited. Maybe at some point we'll be discussing how you manage to handle all these things.
Absolutely.
Wow. Good.
Yes.
And now on my left, I have he has so many titles. He tells me he's a super farmer. So, but I know he's still a doctor. He's almost done with his thesis, so I'll be calling him Professor. So in this case, allow me to just give him that title, Professor. Welcome, Professor, today.
All right.
How are you?
I'm fine, James.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm glad for joining you in this show. Yes, I've been following it for quite some time.
Yes.
And you guys, you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And also dealing with serious matter.
Thank you.
And especially about the He Matters.
Yes.
With an emphasis in that, that's something which is very interesting.
Sure.
Because even when I look at the society,
Yes.
at times maybe when things, the way things have moved on, at times we somehow, somewhere,
Yes.
we may have paid some attention to the other side,
Yes.
and the man might have been forgotten somewhere.
All right.
And you guys were doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much. We are having a conversation, and when I was trying to think about this conversation, I actually didn't know the best way to frame it. And that's why I said young men speaks, or young men speak, that matter. And because we wanted to have a conversation revolving expectations. Do young men have expectations of their own? And does the society have expectations toward them? What does the society expect the young men to do or behave or conduct themselves? And how does a young man find a balance, when it comes to this? How do I manage my own expectations? How do I manage society's expectations? And how can I prevent myself from being overwhelmed trying to fulfill these expectations? What is the balance? And I know some of these kind of expectations are leading men to drugs, these kind of expectations are leading young men to, you know, depression, you know, because they're trying to achieve something that, you know, it's so far away. It looked like it's so far away. I remember when I was joining college, I had my own expectations. I wanted to finish, I was supposed to finish at around age 22, you know, find a good job, a well-paying job for that matter. Maybe at some age 25, find a girl, you know, marry her at the age of 28. You know, all that kind of expectation that I had for myself. You know, drive my first car. I used to like Mac. I think that was my dream car when I was, you know, in college and all that stuff. But then sometimes when you leave college, then you realize that maybe things are different and maybe they don't really work the way you were expecting. And at the same time, the society is also looking at you. They're expecting so much from you. And so I thought this is something that could lead to depression among men and living a stressful kind of life, and, you know, you don't appreciate anything. And so that's the conversation I'll be having. We'll extend it and we'll be listening to Simon and Felix share with us their experiences, whether they have expectations, whether they don't have expectations. Are they fulfilling them? Are they finding it hard to fulfill them? So I'll start with my first expectations of yourself.
All right, maybe to start with, as you have asked, yes, I do have expectation.
Yes.
And not just one, but there are many expectations. And what I know about, there are a number of things that when I talk about the expectation, there are a number of things that I do want to achieve in my life. And also this expectation, they have a calendar that maybe anticipate to have achieved this and this at a given time, because I have a purpose of the life that I'm living for.
Yes. Yes.
And the purpose, I have to keep pursuing this purpose to achieve the goals. The other thing is, some of these expectations, some may be short term, others are long term.
Okay.
And short term might be working towards me meeting the long term expectation.
Sure.
But would you say the expectations are there? Yes, but maybe as we move on from the previous experience, I have experienced a number of things based on various expectations I've been having.
Okay.
Because for sure, the expectation I had when I was growing up,
Yes.
I started admiring being an engineer, a doctor, and I hoped, and I started even specializing to be one. But as time moved on,
yes,
maybe I became an engineer of different things than I thought. Yes, but I thank God that
kind of changed.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, good. And I'll still ask the same question to Felix.
Yes, sir.
And I'll ask, for example, do you have expectations for yourself?
Yes, I do.
You
know, in this life,
yes,
you need to plan yourself.
Yes.
And since you started discovering yourself, you have to plan certain things.
Yes.
To help you to maneuver in life, right?
Yes.
For instance, just like my friend Simon has said,
yes,
myself, when I was a young man,
yes,
a young boy,
yeah,
I had very high expectations of myself. I remember I wanted that time to become either a lawyer,
okay,
or an electrical engineer, because I used to love, touching things
stuff
at
yes,
home.
Yes.
Unaharibu radio ya mzee anakuja mnakosana.
Yes.
And these expectations that we usually have, all you need to do is just to learn to manage yourself.
Sure.
Otherwise, when you don't expect anything of yourself, it means there is nothing that is driving you.
Yes.
It means you are living a purposeless life. And if you are living a purposeless life,
yes,
that's why you will find your friends are moving on, you are not moving, and you start wondering what's happening to me.
Yes.
But in the real sense,
yes,
the problem started when you were not able to plan yourself.
Oh yeah.
So expectations are there, and expectations are good. They can be good, they can be bad. So it also depends on how you want to use them for yourself.
Wow. So you're saying it's good to live with some sort of expectations for your life. Okay, and I'll still throw back the same question, because something I want, and maybe Simon, you would want to maybe take the first chance, is consider your age now. Are there some expectation you had of yourself that by this time you will have achieved them? And maybe have you achieved that?
All right. To start with is that we set that's various goals, and maybe based on the vision that we have. At times, based on at the age where we are, or not, that there are a number of things that push us to set various targets that we have. Maybe to start with is that at times we happen to miss maybe a point. Like in my case, there are some expectation I had put in place, and some might maybe when I try to evaluate them, somehow they were not somehow realistic. So which becomes a challenge to meet them. You see that yes, you set, but you realize after you make several steps, you know what I had mentioned it is not realistic. Based on the like in Kenya, there are a number of things we say about our ground. Things are different. So when you reach at that time, you realize. But I would like just put this that expectation, or when we set various goals, they become the driving force, and a reason why we wake up early in the morning, we work hard, because there's something we are pursuing on. And so, but I've said yes. Others, quite a number, God has been very faithful that I've been able to achieve. Others, they have been achieved, but somehow, based on my target, based on the things like timeline, the magnitude on how I wanted them to be achieved, may be challenged. Maybe not as it was expected, but they have been achieved. Others, they are still in process, and others in the process, maybe others changed.
Or in the process, some of the expectation you keep
they changed in the process, and that time after you what I take is that as you keep learning and as we keep being exposed, what happens based on the exposure, you keep desiring based on the things that you have been exposed to. And that's why at times it's good when the child is growing, you expose them to the right things. Some of us, maybe if the most stylish person you used to see when you are young, if somebody who is smoking, some people could desire to be smokers at that tender age. But if they become exposed to some other good things, because there are so many things that exist and we don't have an idea. But when we are exposed, we start now desiring other things after we learn about them. So some of my expectation happened to change, including even recently. If you look at my education calendar, I started wanted to be a serious doctor. In the process, in the campus, after 4 years degree, then the next stage, I shifted to a different field, and now I'm more into farming than in the medicine. So I'm saying things changed in the process. So many things have changed. So my expectation have really changed. Some have been achieved, others changed, and I have new one. Others may happen to be unrealistic, so became a challenge to achieve them, and others have been challenged because of time and all that.
Wow, good. Felix, had you set some unrealistic goals for yourself, and then you realize, man, no, I need to change? And how did you go about it, if in case you had some unrealistic goals?
Yes, I've had some goals which were very unrealistic. And once it's always important to have a self-evaluation. Many times, as many times as you can. So sometimes I just sat down and I asked myself, this is what I had set for myself. This, then this. What have I been able to achieve? What have I not been able to achieve at that time? what are some of the lessons I've learned? What are some of the challenges I've faced?
Okay.
And for the ones that I have achieved, what did I do? What could I have done better?
Sure.
So once I evaluated myself, and I started ticking them one by one.
Yeah.
I realized that as you grow, when you are exposed, just like my friends say.
Yes.
For instance, for me, all my life, from when I was young, a child up to campus, I spent it up country because I nilisomea shule za huko.
Yes.
So my life was just revolving around that place.
Yes.
And sometimes you find that when you are setting your goals and expectations for yourself, you might be tempted to set them around what you are seeing around you.
Yes.
That time I was thinking, when I reach this age, I might want to become a very, very big farmer, have a very big estate.
Yes.
And a lot of cows and those things that I used to see around that time.
Yeah.
But when I came to Nairobi, now campus, you meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, different places. When I interacted with them, now my mind started shifting.
Okay.
I started seeing things in a different way.
Okay.
And some of the good things that they taught me, or some of the people that challenged me to do, is to talk, to have people who are like-minded, people who you are heading the same direction, people who are not going to pull you back, who are going to hold you. So some of the things that I have learned is to consult those who are ahead of me, to share my views with them. This is what I'm planning to do. I have already started this, what I have achieved. So please help me. What more could I do? Or what different ways could I do to achieve them and to have a better result? If you see. So it's true. I've been able to achieve some. Some have changed. Some I have dropped.
Some were not realistic.
Some were very unrealistic. And life goes on.
Good. Now let's before I go away from you. Let's now talk about the society. The society is looking at you.
Sure.
And in this case, as a young man.
Sure.
For example, you can share with us what are some of the society's expectations of a young man.
One of the expectations the society has for us young men is our education. That's one of them. They expect that when you go to, let's say, a high-end school, you have to perform well. You have to score A's. And sometimes they apply pressure on you. What they don't know is you might go there, but also there is a part you need to play. So if you don't play your part, however much huge expectations they have of you, you will not achieve. You will fail them. Another expectations, actually there is a book I was reading. I'm still reading it. It's called The Poor Dad, Rich Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And there is a story he was giving about a life, how society expects you to live. And he was saying that you find that in most societies, the expectations they have is you are born, you go to school, you get a good education, you finish, you get a job. After getting a job, you marry, you get children, then you retire, and the cycle continues.
You have a small farm.
You have a small farm, and the cycle continues.
It continues,
You see. But there are so many things in between there
Okay.
that you find the society does not teach us.
Oh yeah.
Okay. For instance, when we come to like education, you find that you're only taught to read and to study books.
Yeah.
All right. You're taught to study to get a job.
Yes.
You're studying to get a job.
To get a job.
But when we look at the job market in Kenya, we can see it's very depressed. So when you find yourself, for instance, working somewhere, you are blessed. You are very blessed. And some of them get there through other ways. Either you are blessed or maybe you used other means. But instead, what the society should teach you is not to go to school to get a job. They should teach you to go to school to create jobs for others. You see?
Yes.
Another thing or another expectation that society, and this one has affected me.
Okay.
The society expects that immediately you get a job,
Yes.
you should get a wife. Okay.
Okay.
You should get a immediately.
Yes.
They don't even give you time to, invest in
Plan
yourself.
yourself,
Plan yourself.
Yes.
Immediately you get a job, they start asking, "Hey, my friend, when are you going to do this?"
Yes.
And you find that when such things in the society happen,
Yes.
and you don't know how to handle them,
Yes.
it leads to many people getting frustrated.
Yes.
Getting frustrated. And I cannot blame them. It's the structures we have. So if you find them, some get even depressed, some even wanakosana with their people because they don't know how to manage that.
Yes.
So what
Society,
is more important is learning to handle those expectations that the society has on you.
Yes.
You learn to handle them in a way that it's not going to cause strains of the relationship between you and the society, because you need the society to survive.
Of course.
You cannot be on your own.
You can't be on your own.
You need the society.
Yeah. Good. That's amazing. I got something very informative. That's about being able. You can really, yes, the society has expectations of you.
Yes.
You can learn away from that society. So you need to find ways of managing those expectations.
Yes.
Simon, what do you have to say?
Okay, I like the way Nani has described, and he has given us a very detailed account on examples of various expectations the society have.
Yes.
What I'd like just to add is that for one thing, okay, yourself and myself, we are product of two things. That is what God has put in us to be. The other contribution is the environment. Already what God has engineered us to have. Those things come automatically in terms of how we do things and learn things. The other things comes as a result of the environment. The environment environment is part of now society is part of the environment.
Sure.
And what happens to start with, I would like to mention that this so the society expectation, they are good, and to some extent they are very healthy, because we are part of this society. At times, part of this society, we interact with the people, because even something like church is part of community or the environment we have. Some people who might be ahead of us, they are part of it. And at times, to me, what I look at it in a positive way, whereby they also help us to keep some checks and balances. At times, you may go and rush to an extreme. I think recently, I was being asked some question somewhere about this guy. The guy happened to be excited. He want to perform in these shows as a comedy. So after he finished high school, he has a college here in Nairobi. But now he's staying together with the family. So the parent want him to get education. But now the guy, he wants to be going to this event. I'm missing that name. They don't know how they call it. Where they
stand-up comedy, or
the guys are always invited in these sessions. Where they go and maybe they are called to perform like Churchill. And actually that's where he wants to be. But now the parent feels no, those are not good steps. But now my thinking is this: I will not say the parent, which makes the society, because the expectation of the parent is that this person should get education first and then continue with whatever they are doing. But now the guy feels, me, I don't need education, I have a talent. I should pursue my talent and it's enough to give me a living. But now, looking at that situation, you have two expectations of two individuals. But I would say that this guy, at the same point, he should have to sit down and try to inquire. Why is it that parents tend to insist that you also need education in as much as you want to go to these things, comedy and all that, what you want to achieve. So what I'm trying to put is that at times, yes, we are very aggressive and all that, but still society comes and help us to put some checks and balances. Even in church, you may do something and you have a talent, what you are doing, and the pastor may see you and realize, no, there are some checks and some balance which need to be put into place. So I don't have to dismiss them, but I have to review. And actually, the best thing, if you feel not satisfied by that person, you go even seek information, even to like currently when you are not satisfied by the doctor decision, or a lawyer, you say, I'm going to seek a second opinion. You should go and seek. But now the challenge with us young guys, we feel that maybe the parent did not school and all that. So I'm saying the society expectation, they help us to put some checks and balances. So again, that we don't miss a point and then we regret maybe later. Maybe you miss some education which would have helped you to manage the finances and all that you are getting. However, there's some also expectation in the society of which maybe they have been outdated or they don't fit maybe in your context. So for those ones, so it calls that point where you're able now also to evaluate and understand yourself. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you encounter those maybe conversation or whatever parents are demanding, like even in terms of getting married, if they question you, you should also put your check. Have you really considered when the time to get married? When there is such a situation, if already is in set and you are in a good timeline, you tick, you know to them the time will come. But somebody might have already forgotten they need to get married. So when the society comes and play that role, but now I'm saying there are others which are maybe the way they're doing of things, because things are changing. The world is changing. So that's what I'm saying. You have also experienced and seen new things. The other case challenge we have in terms of the society, some other people want to go through your life how they went through, of which is something which is very different. So for those kind of things, you also need that spirit of understanding, whereby you have to check. Maybe whatever this kind of expectation, you out of it. But others are very good. They help us to put checks and balances. Maybe their timing may be wrong. Your timing might be challenged. Maybe even concerning the marriage, even you yourself, you know the calendar has ticked. So if the society come and question you, you also even aware that the timeline is still the clock is not on your side concerning it. But maybe the final part on that is what now he said, that when you have this, then you also need now to balance. You don't have to put yourself under pressure because of achieving
under pressure.
To want to achieve them. You have to balance them. Yes, they want this. The other things that you have put in place, you have set priorities, checks, and so you have to balance everything. And again, you don't judge yourself harshly whether you achieve them or not. It's about you.
I'll still before I'll ask these questions, and I've got it partly, but I want to phrase it in a way that I'll ask. Now, we've said that of course there are expectations.
Yes.
When a society is educating you, is ensuring that you're living a healthy life, it has some sort of expectations of you that you're gonna come back and maybe assist. Like now, exactly what you're doing, you're trying to find solutions in the agricultural sector. The society has that kind of expectation. But the question I want to ask you, are we as young men obliged to fulfill these expectations? Is it like it's written on the wall? Are we obliged to fulfill these expectations? Or we can say, oh, those are your own expectations, then just let me just be.
All right. Maybe what I can say is this. In every situation, there are some things, at times they may be challenged, quite a number of those expectations.
Yes.
And what happens, I can say, is what we as young people is to, okay, you don't dismiss these people or these guys based on the expectation they have.
Yes.
What we need is to renegotiate them. Negotiating them include meaning you can negotiate to them, and maybe whatever they're expecting maybe may not be that very necessary.
Yeah.
Others, they are very necessary, but maybe our capacity. For instance, the parent educate us, maybe they will even sell house and all that to ensure we have nice education.
Yes. Yes.
After that, they need us to support them back. So we, as much as we are doing this, we have a responsibility also to take care of them.
Okay.
But also that one is in line on how much we are able to achieve that.
Yes. Yes.
So we don't dismiss based of that is regarding their expectation. The other thing is, we know that, for instance, as young guys, we also have our own plans and all that.
Oh yeah.
We have goals we have also set, which maybe need finances.
Yes.
So at times maybe become a challenge for us to meet those kind of expectations.
Okay.
Other things, even a more serious one, God may call you maybe in a full-time ministry.
Oh yeah.
And maybe that time you are not earning after you are done with your studies.
Oh yeah.
You are doing a full-time ministry or doing a voluntary work somewhere, you are not earning.
Yes.
So, and as much as they have educated you, in what you are doing at that moment, they should even give you more support.
Yes.
So that's why I'm talking about renegotiating with them based on the current environment. And it calls a lot of understanding between the two parties. It calls a lot of understanding. Between the two parties. So the question about whether we are obliged, it depends with the kind of the expectation they have.
Yes.
Others, yes, like for instance, the parents spend a lot of maybe to enlighten us.
Yes.
And at times, because they don't have the energy as they used to be, it is good also as young guys take care of them as well.
Okay.
Others, maybe like the whole society, we cannot be able to support the whole society. You may not go and maybe build a house for the whole society and all that.
Yeah.
It may not be realistic. So there are those, yes, we are obliged to do that based on our capacity of what we are able to do.
Okay.
And once again, I'll say, if we are not able to achieve that, we should not again judge ourselves harshly. That is life.
Wow. Amazing. Good. In 1 minute, Felix.
Yes, sir.
Can you just talk to us, and this is a build-up of what Simon has said.
Sure.
Right? How do you strike the balance so that you don't become the society doesn't see you as an outcast?
Yes.
Or someone who you can't be told anything.
Yes.
You know. How do you strike the balance so that you have a cordial relationship with the society, which we've said it's a product? If you are a product of that society, how do you strike that balance?
Okay. Okay. First thing,
yes.
You have to set your priorities, right?
Yes.
Once you set your priorities, now you sit down with those people who have expectations about you.
Yes.
You sit with them.
Yes.
They tell you this is what we expect of you.
Yes.
And then you share your ideas and tell them,
okay,
for me, this is what I expect of myself.
Okay.
Then once all the priorities have been set and all the expectations have been laid on the table, now you find a way of marrying them together, so that it can be a win-win situation. For instance, for me, in 1 minute, a case study for me.
Yes.
So when my parents had some expectations for me. So what we did last year, we took some time together as a family. We went out. We decided not to talk that topic at home. We decided to change the environment a bit. So what we did, we took some day out. We went and sat somewhere outdoor. We even put our phones aside and everything that was distracting us.
Okay.
Then everyone in the family said of what they expect of themselves. In life, our parents told us, this is what we expect of you. And by the end of that discussion, we had already come to terms.
Wow.
And we went on with life. And the balance was striking. Okay. So what's important is you speak to them instead of just dismissing those people and what they expect of you. Just sit with them, talk with them, reason with them, and then from there on you will be able to create on a way forward. And you will have that good relationship with everyone.
Wow.
As long as you sit with them and you agree.
Wow.
Wow, the conversation is getting interesting.
You are watching The Convo with Dr. Frida and James Wetu. Convo, encouraging conversation that matter.